She's playing against Linsey Hardwick on green-red Tron. Tron deck, I think that about 3 months ago was really near the top of the format, but it struggled to keep pace with Dredge, and we're seeing that again. Erin up a game.
Yeah, and not a ton of sideboard hate here for Linsey. 2 Relic of Progenitus, no Grafdigger's Cage, so it's really just the relics. There's a Ratchet Bomb and some Fire Spouts, which can sweep up, but they don't permanently deal with anything that Campbell is up to. So we see here, Linsey's well on her way to establishing Tron. I guess Ugin the Spirit Dragon is a great find against Dredge, so if she can get up to 8 mana, cast Ugin, that would be phenomenal here. As we see, Campbell doesn't have a lot going on just yet. And if you're a fan of Erin Campbell, it's really no surprise to see her playing Dredge. She plays Dredge in Legacy, even in this Deathrite Shaman world that we're living in. This is exactly the kind of Magic that she likes to play.
Yeah, so see a Dredge here. She's going to go ahead and get a Narcomoeba back into play. Has some graveyard cards here. She's going to dredge Stinkweed Imp. 3, 4, 5, a prized Amalgam and another Imp in the yard. So that Narcomoeba will get put into play. That's a delayed trigger on the prized Amalgam. She'll get that at the end of the turn.
Yep, that was a good find.
Narcomoeba will swing for 1.
Love the Future Sight Narcomoeba as opposed to the modern Master version. Anytime I get an opportunity to use that frame, I want to jump on that.
And now we get our look at a Kaladesh card. Here's the Cathartic Reunion. And this is so big in this deck. As additional cost to play, discard 2 cards, draw 3. So she discards Stinkweed Imp and Golgari Grave Troll. The first, and now starts drawing 3. The first one will be a Dredge of Golgari Grave Troll. Here's 6 cards.
Already a draw 12.
Another Grave Troll. That one puts a prized Amalgam into the yard.
Which will trigger off of the Amalgam on
Yeah.
Erin's end step.
Stinkweed Imp dredged. She now gets 2 Conflagrates in the yard. Plays a land, now gets some Bloodghasts back. Looks like 1, just 1. See those things in the middle of the table? That's Erin's graveyard. She goes to her end step. That means she gets back 1 prized Amalgam, and both prized Amalgams now. Bloodghast triggered them.
Yep. Previously, it would have been a turn cycle in between. Now, there's an opportunity for Hardwick to just have Tron, Ugin the Spirit Dragon. That
would do it, yeah.
That would be devastating.
She could exile all the creatures on play, and exile being the key word there.
Contents of her hand do not look to facilitate this play.
She does have Fire Spout. That's a sweeper. Now, keep in mind, she's got to use both groves if she wants to hit all the creatures, because she's got to have red for the ground creatures and green for the flyers.
Yep. And with that Bloodcast, it won't be hard for Campbell to reset a comparably large board on the following turn.
So Fire Spout. Red and green paid. It'll kill all of Erin's creatures. So we see them all hitting the bin. The thing about the Dredge deck is if you're not exiling them, this doesn't do as much as you'd like.
Yep.
They should all be back, well, actually on Erin's turn. So this is the great part. She left up the fetch land. So now she goes ahead, and if she fetches during Linsey's main phase, which she's going to do, she gets the land. Now the land means that Bloodghast will come back. And now the prized Amalgams will trigger. And as long as she does this during Linsey's main phase, then on Linsey's end step, the Amalgams will hit.
Fetch for an untapped duel in case Hardwick were to, still in the main phase, maybe play something like a Chromatic Sphere that she could Ancient Grudge.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a ton of
Expedition map.
It's pretty free for her to just...
Yeah, her life total is under no
yeah.
pressure. I like that untapped a lot.
Nice play by Erin. She dredges life from the loam for the turn, and then swings for 8. Picking loam over something like Stinkweed Imp, it looks like.
She has Conflagrate already in her graveyard, just wants to get a lot of cards in hand, make that huge fireball.
Yeah, that makes sense. If you build up more cards, Conflagrate's bigger.
Also with the Bloodghast going, keeping up on land's never a bad thing.
So Erin, checking out the graveyard. She has Collective Brutality, Stinkweed Imp, 2 Grave Trolls, and then that life from the loam in hand. Could cast loam and Brutality this turn if she wanted.
I like that line quite a bit.
So she'll start with Collective Brutality, fully escalated. This means she won't get to life from the loam this turn.
Thinks twice about discarding the Grave Troll, maybe just go for 2 modes.
Well, there's no -2/-2 that she... I guess she could just shrink post-combat one of her own things. So she's going to pick the first and third modes. So
there's an argument for just shrinking the Bloodghast and killing it, so you can save that for the graveyard for later.
Okay, so 2 life points are drained. Linsey's at 9. Ugin and Karn.
I think it was Wormcoil Karn.
Wormcoil Karn. All right, Ugin, wishful thinking.
Yeah.
Oblivion Stone for Linsey. She's got the right cards, but not the right mana. And you see her counting damage here. She's at 9. There's Conflagrates in the graveyard. She is dead on board.
Yep, and Linsey playing a deck very reliant on drawing the right lands. Campbell playing a deck that is just not abiding by the rules of Magic the Gathering.
She'll play the Oblivion Stone and pass. Gonna make Erin do it, but she should. 8 power in play, and the Conflagrate in the yard should be enough. She'll dredge Grave Troll. And this deck is just good.
You mean to tell me that having access to potentially 6 cards when other players are forced to draw 1 at a time is strategically advantageous?
That swing puts Linsey down to 1. Then she Conflagrates, discarding some cards for the remaining life points. Game and match for Erin Campbell. She improves to 3-0.
This could be a very good weekend for Dredge.
This really is a deck that's on everyone's radar. We saw Cathartic Reunion that game just be ridiculous. It has pushed this deck, which was already pushing into tier 1, just up to the top of the metagame. And more so even than just Dredge being good,